Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel. Today we are going over the sus chord and sus voicings. You have probably heard of this chord before, but there are so many absolutely incredible tricks that you can use to completely change the sound of your playing in terms of jazz harmony, substitutions, reharmonizations, and so much more, just by using this one single sound. So today I'm going to reveal to you some of my absolute best secrets and tricks for using sus chords to transform the sound of your playing and achieve really beautiful modern sounds. And at the very end of the video, I'm actually going to show you one single trick that I use all the time that will completely change how your playing sounds in basically every song you play. It's actually so easy, it'll probably blow your mind. But you really need to have the knowledge that we're going to talk about leading up to that trick to understand how it works. So be sure to stick around, watch through the video, and at the end, I'm going to show you that trick which is going to change your playing. Honestly, if you haven't tried this yet, you are seriously missing out. Really quick before we dive in, if you're new to the channel, please consider clicking subscribe so you don't miss any more videos just like this one. And if you already know my content and like it, well, if you could hit that like button, I would really appreciate that. We're also still in the middle of a free giveaway of a Piano de Voyage, the 4-piece modular piano that fits perfectly into a backpack and is incredibly light. I fit it into my backpack all the time for gigging. It's amazing, I absolutely love it. So if you want a chance to win a free one, all you have to do is leave a thoughtful comment on this video, but it's absolutely essential that you check out the full guidelines, which are down below in the description. Or if you want to learn a little bit more, you can also check out the intros to my last few videos in which I actually explain them as well. All right, let's dive into sus chords. So first of all, what is a sus chord? Just as a quick review for those of you who don't know yet. Well, a sus chord is so named because it has a sus4, a suspended 4. Now, let's just review an extremely essential jazz theory tip here. If you don't know this yet, it might actually be creating a huge gap in your playing. So whether you're new to this stuff or actually this is review for you, make sure that you understand this. So every single jazz chord is built with 1, 3, 5, and 7. The reason we have extensions is because they are actually adding an additional number to that 1, 3, 5, and 7. Doesn't matter what order these notes are in, but if a note replaces that 1, 3, 5, or 7, like for example, we actually, instead of putting this D on top, put it down here and remove the third, we now have 1, 2, 5, 7. So again, in this scenario where we have 1, 3, 5, 7, this 2 is actually technically a 9 because it's an extension of those first 4 notes. But if it actually replaces the 3, it's a 2. It's a suspended 2 because it wants to resolve back up to the 3. In a sus chord, we generally are coming from the dominant chord, so 1, 3, 5, flat 7, but then instead of a third, we have a 4. So that is a suspended 4. So that's it. That's the basic dominant sus chord that you'll hear. Okay, now that we've got that theory out of the way, let's take a look at some of these absolutely essential tips. I think these are really going to change the way you look at dominant chords in general. So number one, let's start with a really basic trick here that's going to change the sound of your 2-5-1s. 2-5-1, of course, being one of the most common progressions in music in general. So let's take a look at a 2-5-1 in F major. Here I'm going to do G minor 9 to C13 to F major 9. But basically G minor 7 to C7 to F major 7 is the most basic version of that 2-5-1. Very plain and simple. Trick number one is we're going to change the sound of all your 2-5-1s. What we're going to do is we're going to do G minor 9, and then when we get to the C, we're also going to do G minor 9, and then we're going to land on F for the F major 9. So literally, we're just keeping that minor chord, the 2, even when the bass is the 5. So if you're playing solo piano, you'll still put the 5 in the bass, meaning C, and keep that same voicing in the right hand, then go to F. If you're playing with a band with a bass player, then you can just keep that voicing and then switch when you hit the 1. What does this sound like with improvisation? Well, this is where it gets really cool. So basically all we're actually doing here is we're making the 5 chord sus. We're making it a sus chord. Let's take a look at how that works. Now, this next piece of knowledge that we're about to go through here is really going to be very foundational for the rest of the video. So do not miss this. Make sure you understand this before watching on and before going on to that final tip toward the end of the video that you can actually use to basically transform your playing completely. So the G minor 9 is built flat 7, 9, flat 3, 5. Now when we put C in the root, this becomes 4, right? The 4 of C, 4, 13, flat 7, and 5. So we've actually got, again, 4, 13, that's important right there. Before we talked about a dominant 7 chord with that suspended 4, but now we've actually got a 9 and a 13. So check this out. What chord is this? Well, we call this C sus 13, or more technically, C13 parentheses sus 4. But many jazz musicians will just say, oh, hey, it's a C sus 13. So if you hear that, now you know what it is. It's a chord that's built 1, 4, right? That's suspended 4, 5, flat 7. So that's the core of our 7th chord. And then we add a 9 and a 13 on top. So this chord, honestly, for me, was somewhat life-changing. I know it sounds a little hyperbolic, but I actually just personally love this sound so much. It sounds so open and beautiful. And yet at the same time, it has a certain sound of resolution somehow as well. I think that's what's so interesting to me about these chords. That 4 really, really, really wants to resolve, and yet I feel like I could just hang out here on this sound without resolving and not feel a lack of resolution, you know, emotionally, however you would describe that. Okay, so now we basically know that a G minor 9 is the same thing as a C sus 13. So what if we take some other G minor 9 voicings? Well, here's a really classic one, an inversion of this first one, right? So we put G minor 9 rootless over C. Beautiful. We could add the root too if we want, but I like this rootless. So you could actually be comping like this. You could also use this to resolve as well. So you could do G minor, C sus to C13. Now this next trick I'm about to show you is really getting into modern sounds here. I think you're really gonna like this one. You've probably heard it before, but may not have known exactly what it was. So now we're gonna take this G sus 13. I love this voicing. We add the octave here. So we've got this little rootless G minor 9, add the octave, and now we're gonna move up in minor thirds. We can arpeggiate and it'll sound really cool. So we'll do it. And if you're playing with a band, what a cool thing to do. So that's a really, really cool trick. All right, now remember how I said if you waited till the end, you were going to be able to understand a really amazing trick that could completely transform your playing? Well, that is the trick I'm about to show you. But obviously, really quickly, there is so much here that I cannot show you in one single YouTube video. So if you want to learn more of the absolute essentials when it comes to improvisation and harmony, I've got great news, which is that my Jazz Piano Secrets course is actually going to be opening up for the first time in about 6 months this October. So if you're interested in having a very obvious, step-by-step, clear method to take your jazz piano playing to the next level, or honestly maybe many levels and beyond. The course goes from a very excellent fundamental level, making sure that you understand jazz theory fundamentals, all the way into really advanced, really interesting sounding modern territory, all with a very, very clear methodology. Be sure you are on that wait list. The waitlist link is in the description. Again, opening up for the first time in 6 months this October. Hopefully I'll see you in the course. All right, so this final trick that I would love for you to practice, now that you understand some of these other tricks for sus chords, is I would love for you to try taking some different songs and making every single chord in the song a sus 13 chord. So a great place to start is with a blues, because you can get some really interesting sounds that way. I actually love doing this. So let's take an F blues, right? An F 12-bar blues. Let's make every single dominant chord in the blues a sus chord instead. So for F, we're gonna do C minor 9 over F. For B flat, it'll be F minor 9 over B flat. And then for C, as we talked about, G minor 9. So So that's already such an interesting sound. I would highly encourage you to now take this not only into a blues, but other standard songs as well, and see what it sounds like when you replace every single chord with this Sus13 chord. I would love to hear what you think in the comments. And again, to enter the giveaway, leave a thoughtful comment below and be sure 100% to check out the full giveaway guidelines in the description to make sure that you are actually entering properly. And also just a quick note to clarify, YouTube is not affiliated with this giveaway in any way. This is all through my channel. The winner will be chosen completely randomly from the folks who have commented on my videos from the day this giveaway started up until my channel hits 100K subscribers. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot, and if you got something good out of this video, I really appreciate you hitting that like button. Now, there's so much that I would have loved to teach you in this video, especially about modernizing a 12-bar blues, but there's just not enough time to do that in a single YouTube video. But the good news is I have another video right here that you can actually use to learn about how to modernize a 12-bar blues. All right, I'll see you in the next one.